So the Mocha in the Pasuk for the new Hamshach, every Rosh Hashanah, is Eretz Asherina Hashem Lakecha Ba Mereshis Shana Hashana Vadach Shana, which goes to Pashas Nech Yisrael, and they give the various titles of Eretz Shimi Dvar Havaya. Number one, it goes in 3 Shroshim of Malchus, which is Eretz, Nehi Chagas Chabad. Then it goes on Eden, Eretz Chayfes, and the Proteus from the Tzemach Tzedek, Eden, Teire, Shebal Peh, and Mitzvahs. So this is the Avodah of Eden, to do mitzvahs as explained in Teire Shebal Peh. So that's Mamshech the Chodosh, the Binyan HaMalchus. That's what the pasuk concludes. Eretz Shimi Dvar Havaya, that we hear in a deeper way, the Dvar Havaya. And he added, therefore, need the mitzvah Tkiya Shofar B'Gashmis, because it has to be Eretz, it has to be Nimshach Lamata. But not only should, as a result of it's called the Nesira in Kabbalah. The Nesira means the dismantling. I don't know how to do this. That someone gets on. I don't know how that works. Let's see. You did this once. Hang on. If I. Okay. It's the Binyan HaMalchus, so prior to that is the Nesira. So not only shouldn't be Berifin Yadayim, but should be a Chodesh. It wasn't even Nimshach before. That was the summary of the Mayim B'Til the Gimel. This is what the Gemara says. That you should say before me. Malchis Kadesh Tam Nechoni Aleichem Tam Chedin Emuven Ariksib Avayim Lechleilam Voed. They wish the rules. And he will rule. It's constant. What's they wish requesting? He desires to do good, kindness. So therefore, there is the Meluchim, it's not the mind. But through Teire mitzvahs, Mamshichim in Malchus Gufa in the Melucha, Oir Chodesh Naida Yoser, a much loftier Oir. And that's because the Bishop desires that we should want it. And since he desires it, so it touches him deeper, and he's Mamshich, that is Mamshich on their Chodesh. This is also the same inyan. The Gemara says in Shabbos, whoever says Vayichulu, Friday night, Nasa Shutef, he says Kiddush, Nasa Shutef, Vaklish Baruch V'Maisa Bereshis. Hashem needs a partner. He made the world before Adam came along. What does it mean to be a partner? It's done already. It's a done deal. The answer is Davshe Maisa Bereshis Eshtam B'Timidos, even though it exists before and without Avidus Adam, as it were, become Mokim Adem, B'Tis Vayichulu, but through a Yid, saying Vayichulu, declaring God as creator. So in Avidus Adam, Azay Amshocha, the Maisa Bereshis and Alis Yosef. This is Mamshach, Davish is Pnimis Atainug. In Bria, so it's a whole different Amshocha, a whole different creation. This is also the union of the Eibishter says, say before me Malchus. The Eibishter is requesting Sheti Amshocha, say the Chodesh and Chenish Lamayim Mishtal Shalus. Touch me in such a level, higher than Ishtal Shalus, and be Mamshach the Inyan. Shezer Imru Lefonai Dafke, and that's the Inyan of Lefonai. Not we want to continue the Inyan of Bria as it is Misad Atzma, but with Lefonai Lamayim Mishtal Shalus. In other words, that Bria till then, till Avedis Adam is Misad Ishtal Shalus. Messiah, when the Gemara concludes, the Eibishter says, and how is this all affected? By Shofar through Shofar. And Shadavka, they are Meiset Kia Shofar, only through Shofar, Peilim, Hamshachas HaChodesh, Lamayim Mishtalshalos, that this is prayer, this Hamshach HaChodesh, Pchinas Lefanai, Ubayf in such a way, Shezeh Yivshach Lamata, it should come down. That's what it has to be a Maaseh Gashmi. Shezeh Oy Tam Al HaTzorech V'Tkiya Shofar B'Asiyah Dafke. The fact that Hamshach has to come down Lamata is another reason why there has to be the physical blowing of the shofar. There are other reasons to make the tshuva, etc. But this is one of them. Because it has to come in the Lamasiyah. And this fulfills the kavanah of Dira B'Tachtonim. So this is also close in Amiras Psukim Malchus B'Rosh Hashanah. If she says Imdu Lafane Malchus, that's talking about the Psukim. Shemevi Imraya, the whole point that why we need the Psukim. Okay, the Gemara Darshans, the Gemara has sources in the Torah that we have to say Psukim and Malchus, the Chenes and Shofar. It's various opinions upon him. But what's the inyan? Shemevi Imraya, because the point is to bring a proof. And what do you need the proof? The point of the proof is that Torah gives the koyach, mina Torah, mina malchus, that a yid should be able to be pearl the union of Hamshach HaChodesh and binyan malchus. Shenyanu Hamshach HaSeil Mata Dafka, that has to come all the way down. So he's implying in the sinas koyach from Torah to bring the Hamshach all the way down. Yalpizeh, page 6. Vaychachat Marash. So you brought the Rif Tzemach Tzedek, the Alter Rebbe brought.
L'Kutei Torah.
When did you bring L'Kutei Torah?
A lot of these biurim are from L'Kutei Torah.
No.
On the bottom of the Drushim. Oh, you mean the name? You mean the name?
No. In the Rashona Dikamayim, he mentions all by names. Not always Allah said.
Okay.
So there's machlokes in the Gemara there. There's the day of Yehuda she'posek Shema Yisrael ein b'chlal psukim malchus. That Shema you have to have 10, and it's 3 from Torah, 3 from Nevi'im, 3 from Ksuvim, and the 10th is from Torah again. That's how the Seder is of all the malchus, the chenes, and shofars. Now we conclude with the pasuk Shema Yisrael, but there's a day, and the day is also a day in Torah that ain't the b'chal psukim malchus. And what's the reason? I mean, in Pashtus in Yonim, if you learn the Gemara there, it's because Yehuda is of the opinion if it doesn't say actually the word malchus, it's not considered malchus. There are only 3 psukim in all of Torah where the Eibush is referred to as a melech. So therefore he says Shema Yisrael is not one of the psukim. And now the Pnim Yisrael, the Fishin Shema Yisrael, Avail Kinevechod, Ubchinas Yichud Yilo, Din, that Rebbe explains in Tanya, the Shema Yisrael Yichud Yilo. Yichud Yilo is the mind because we'll explain at length, is Bittul Mitzad L'Mayla. That's what's happening in Rosh Hashanah. In Malchus Hamshach HaSeil Mata Dafke. So since the whole point is that Hamshach of Malchus Dafke Lamata, in the Apostle Shema Yisrael Abaya Chotshun of Yichud Yilo Shebel Yisrael Yonim, who feels the Yichud Yilo Tzol Yenelim Yisrael Yonim, Hatzilus and higher. So therefore he holds. That's what this explains the day. The Pnimius that ain't the Bechlal Psukim Malchus. This cannot be reckoned in the Psukim of Malchus where the Kavanah is Baruch Shem Kvei Malchus Elam Vayed. That's also Pshat Pashit in the Gemara. It doesn't mention Malchus because Malchus is Yerida, Malchus is Yichud Tatorah. So, and that's the whole Kavanah here. So the pasuk doesn't bring the inyan of Malchus. It doesn't belong. But Rabbi Yossi holds v'cheinu halacha. That's what we do. Gam pasuk zeh b'chlal psukim malchus. Shema Yisrael is one of the 10 psukim. V'lo yoid. Not only is it one of the 10 of the Shopasek Asiri, it's the 10th one, which means the climactic one. Shebei Mesayimim v'chaisim kol yin ha-malchus, which we conclude the whole yin ha-malchus. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu. Kratin is immortalized in this Vagdei Avdei Hanavi. Just the end concludes with Shema Yisrael. The Lo Yoid, yeah. Why? The fear, the chayre. We're talking Yehuda Tata, as we're learning in the Maimon Shabbos morning. The whole kavanah should be a yesh, and the yesh should be in this battle. That's Yehuda Tata, Iskafia. The fear, because Shakavani B'chudi Ilah, he sheyumshech B'chudi Tata. It's not that the Eibishter wants these two realities, Kel Deis Havaya, is the Das Elyon and Das Tachten. They remain separate worlds. No. The Kavan is Yichud Ilah, Shvir Nimshech in Yichud Tata. The mind will explain what that means. That's talking Malamata Lamata. Likewise, in the Avodah Malamata Lamata, Shakavani Bichud Tata, even though we're holding Yichud Tata at best, nonetheless, there should Yurgashba. There should be the sense of a Gama Yichud Ilah. The herigish asidah hecher, that there's something higher, and at least the knowledge and apiseichel of bittul b'mitzios in herigish and shebepel in the heart. So this gives and sinas koyach in the avodah b'chud tata. We learned in the previous maamer. We learned and he brought in the hardest over there in the previous maamer that Yehuda Tata itself, in the market is Kundas Yitzchayim. It's only Bittul Yesh, and there isn't the Hergish. There isn't the Hergish that the Bittul Yesh is not the Emes. Then this Bittul Yesh, as beautiful it is, it's all of the person to sink to slippery slide. There's a lot of in the previous maamer, but even Tzad Sefer Kalalmin. There's no true bittul. And therefore he says in Eitzachayim that even though we don't fool yourself, we're not holding by Yechudi Law, we cannot, because we're not Neshamas of Atzilis and we're not holding by Yechudi Law. But there has to be that hergish, that declaration, Shema Yisrael, Havaylekin Havayachod, because if it's I am bottle, that's Yichud Tata, Bitla Yesh. If it's going to be stuck in the eye, and there isn't the hergish at least, that this is a sheker gomer. And it's only mitzvah the kavonas ha'atzmos that there is an I that feels independent. Then this whole avodah of iskafia even and Yehuda Tata can lead to tremendous yeridah, as we talked about in that maamer and maamer also that we learned. Kaponim, it's rooted in kuntas yitzchayim. So the kavanah is saying is that even the mitzvah, it's not two separate realities. No. Is Atzilus? We don't live in Atzilus. Is our reality? No, the kavanah is there should be the fusion in both directions. L'mayla l'mata, Yehuda Ilah has to know the union of Yehuda Tata. Can't ignore the reality that Abishah created a world that feels separate. The highest levels have to know that, as the mind will explain, and the mata has to be open to and be margish the truth of Yehuda Ilah. More than that, if you say to Mizeh, Shetachlis, Yehuda Tata, she's all in Yehuda Ilah, then there's ultimate kavanah that it ascends in Yehuda Ilah. That will explain what does it mean in a sense. If you're ascending Yehuda Ilah, you're no longer Yehuda Tata. Finishes Yehuda Ilah. What does it mean that Yehuda Tata ascends in Yehuda Ilah? Eli just said the answer. It means that we can't escape the fact that we feel a sense of separation. But being Yis'al Yehuda Ilah is that this gufa that I feel separated, this is the Kavan Elyon. That's because he wants. And to be margish this, that my sense of separation of Yeshes is only mitzvah b'chiras ha'atzmos. So you have the Yehuda Ilah Yichud Torah is sense in Yichud Yilah, surrendering. He's still hanging on to his yeshus because he can't escape that. But there's acknowledgement that the yeshus gufa is only because that's what the Eibishter wants. He wants a dira b'tachtonim, so he created a tachton and a yesh. So now he concludes. The whole Maimon is going to explain this, which I didn't learn further, except for the next. So that's why, even though we're talking about Binyan HaMalchus, we're talking about Yichud Tator, as he explains Barichas in the Maimon of the Alter Rebbe there. And that's the reason, nonetheless, Pasuk Shema Yisrael, we'll see in B'chosem, Inyan HaMalchus, we conclude with Shema Yisrael, because the Shri Kavon of the B'chinas Echad, who? The Kavon of Echad, which is expressed in Shema Yisrael, L'sheyumshech B'chinas Vo'ed, as in Baruch Shem Kved Malchusay Leilam Vo'ed, because the Echad, who Vo'ed B'chilufei Asren, in the exchange of letters. This is a diktuk thing, that certain groups of letters share something in common. So the letters Aleph, Hey, Vav, and Yud all share something in common. They're called Oisias HaHemshech, because when these letters come at the end of a word, they just continue the word. They don't add their own sound. So therefore, they're interchangeable. So therefore, the echad, and then you have the oisius. It's called oisius hagroinus, not groinus. Acha, ayin, ayin ches. The guttural letters, no, for Godin, lashon Godin. They're also interchangeable. So the ches and the ayin is supposed to be on. Ayin is supposed to be from the back of the throat, as the Taimnim say it. So the ches and the ayin are interchangeable, and the aleph and the vav are interchangeable. So therefore, the void of echad, of the word void becomes echad. The daled remains, and so echad b'chiluf ha'oisius is what? B'chiluf ha'asven is what? Clear? So the point being that there should be why? What's the b'chiluf ha'asven? We're playing games here. The letters exchange. It means the kavana. Kavana is the yichud of these higher yichud yilah and yichud tator. They're intrinsically connected. They're destined to be one, and therefore the letters exchange. Because with pnimius, it's one inyan. They're concluding the point they began in the previous ois that this Hamshachas Nasa, the Eretz, Chayvetz, Yisrael, Dafke. He didn't bring this about. Hashem's land of desire, Eretz, Shemidvar Havaya. It's because Mitchilas HaKos of Shema Yisrael, who brings about Havaya Likein, Havaya Chod, which B'chilufi Asfen is void, is Yidden. Hainu Shisoli, Mapel, the Yidden effect, Yichud, the Echod, the revelation of Hashem's oneness in the world, Shinyani Ogamkin Amshachas HaYichud B'Eilames, and the whole point is that you have to be mamshechet into the world, not declare it as it is l'mayla, but shv'nimshach l'mata k'mayim azal. The Gemara says that when a person says echad, there has to be misbain and kad amlichte l'mayla l'mata l'dal druchas. When you say the word echad, he should be mechaven to declare God's sovereignty above and below, and in the four ruchas oilam, which is in meaning lamatin oilamus. Okay, so now the whole beer of this inyan in the mind. Beer inyan. Chaim, you still there?
Yes.
Okay, you just okay. Klal listening in the echad. So echad is a yichud shemitzad oilamus. The chlal echad is a yichud mitzad oilamus. Oilamus yonim, but oilamus. That's what we say. Hashem echad, not Hashem yochid. L'chayda, mitzad havon the being a yichud, understanding what unity means. Haritevis yochid meidal mailas a yichud yoser. The word yochid is exclusive, absolute. It's a greater yichud asher tevis echad in the word one. How would we translate yochid? Singular, absolute. Not just that he is one, but he is singular.
No one else besides him.
Yeah. So in the Yochid what it addresses the Eibishter's unity, as in word pre-creation. That is so we dafke say echad that in order to convey al yichud shemsad oilemes, that notwithstanding creation, it's all united with it. The Indian is the Indian mitzad yidiyose yizborech b'chenas yochid. From Eibish's perspective, yochid hareli shayich mitzius oilemes klal. There cannot be any otherness at all. Mishakoseh Beitz Chaim, like he writes in Yitzchayim, at the outset, the Ein Sof fills what becomes later the empty space, and there's no place, no possibility for the emergence of Eilemes. It continues, then there's the Tzimtzum, and it was drawn into the Makom Cholo a thin, narrow, or short line. End of quote from Yitzchayim. Now, even after this fact, the tzimtzum that concealed the Eibush is only from our perspective. From the Eibush perspective, there is no concealment. Did you guys read it? I didn't. I see that the hair 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, whatever it was, had a whole beer on the 4 shittas in tzimtzum. You saw it? Huh?
I had planned to read it, and I forgot.
Also planned to read it. Interesting to see how they.
I don't think there's a beer on the 4. There's maybe a beer on Simpson. Kipshuta, like Kipshuta. It's wonderful.
Does it go to 4 shittas? No.
It's very, very good.
Which one?
No, the past one must have been Thomas.
So why did they go to the 4 shittas? They weren't even that far. No. At any rate, so the tzimtzum is only from our perspective. Like the moshel that the Rav gives only conceals the seichel for the Talmud, but not for the Rav. The Matthias is for the Eibishter, but even now, Ein Sof fills everything, as it were. So this statement of the Yitzchayim, the Yitzchayim seems to make it a timeline. That's how it was. But now that there's a tzimtzum, no. So now we've solved that problem. There's a mokim, lamidas ha'olemus. Instead of saying here, nothing changed, mitzad l'mayla. Still in mokim, lamidas ha'olemus. Huh? 7. Vinyan ha'olemus, b'diyos yizborech. So there's no mokim to lamidas ha'olemus. By that he means that ha'olemus should feel independent, as we do, going down the chain of Ishtalshamas. So mitzad l'mayla, there is elements or there isn't. There is. But notwithstanding the process of creation, nothing changes for God, and the elements exist as they are in His aliyas harotzen, His desire for them. In other words, all they are is His desire. They had nothing else. Not elements. There's no elements without the elements. So therefore, she'ein a mitzias klal or klal. So mitzad the mile is not a mitzias at all. The mile is even higher. How do you say kefishim b'chin Hashem alikim shelamaylim aliyas harotzen? The aliyas harotzen is what Israel had articulated desire. I want the elements, which exists in the Ein Sof if they had tzimtzum. Behem as the source. The bittul is even higher than that. Because the bittul comes from Shem Alikim Shalamayim Meliyas Harotzen. What Shem Alikim Shalamayim Meliyas Harotzen? Keich HaGvul. The name is that the Shleimos of Keich HaGvul can have the Indian of what? Of the potential for Indian Shel Gvul. Because he's Kril HaKoil. Noisa HaKoil. As he goes into the city, Chayde Nemuven is Mamshech. What does it mean? He's asking like an existential question. In the Eibishter's the Ratzon, he wants Eilumas Hariyim Be'ein Arech Lagamre. They're completely incomparable. So the Teretz is, he's going to say that the way it is, the mile, it's the shleimus of Atzmos. Yeah, why? Yeah. Like,
Why or how?
it's more why. This question is really why. It's Be'ein Arech, so what's the point of it? What's the point? And the Teretz is that the way the Aliyas Harotzon is Lamaila, it's not the downside of Eilumas, it's Takir, Be'ein Arech. It's not the shleimus of Erin Sof, Neis HaKel, even Keich HaGvul. As it goes in the Sha'inihu, Shazal, Mitzad, he said the Shem Malikim, the Maila, Lift that Tzimtzim is higher than Aliyas Harotzon. Aliyas Harotzon is already setting into motion the actual process. But the Shem Malikim is Mitzad HaAtzmos, Kishem Yesh HaKeich, Bilti Bal Gvul, Yesh HaKeich B'Gvul. That's what he's referring to here. Shazal Mitzad, B'chid Shem Malikim, Sheberin Sof Baruch Hu. Even to Hashem Malikim as it is in Erin Sof, Shazum Mizayin Hashemis, Shen Nimchakim. These are from the 7 names that exist with, as it were, in the Erin Sof, sacred names that cannot be erased. So what is it? Yonayu is Galus Pratim. Shem Malikim is the Kayach that the Eibishter has to reveal himself in Gvul. That's Mitzad the Shleimus. Shazelikim Lashon Rabbi, Malikim is in the plural. As we always point out, it's a highly strange thing that a name for God should be grammatically Lashon Rabbi. But that's the Inyan. The Inyan is that Mitzad the Shleimus of the Eibishter can express himself in varied ways. Pratim is the opposite of one and Yachid and singular. Lachin, he concludes that Pratim should be Shem Malikim. So because there's Shem Malikim, there's the Inyan of Pratim, which means the shleimus of Gvul, who asibal the Yisarasa Shila Ilmus. That's the cause, that tracing back the ultimate cause for the Ratzon for Ilmus. Hainu Shagam Mitzadat Simtzu Kavishul Gabeino. No, I'm still learning. Calls Pchinas Yachid. So that's the union of Yachid, that's meaning Mitzad Yidiyasa, Yizborech. So we have to think deeply into this. This means that Mitzad the Eibishter, even La'achare, the whole Bria. Here we are right now, here, hardcore Gashmis, hardcore Kvul. Mitzad the Eibishter, nothing has changed. All of that simply is his shleimus of being this Gala or producing Pratim or Gvul, rooted in the shleimus of Shem Malikim L'mayla. So it's Mitzad L'mayla is still bottled Mitzias Mamish. And it's all Mayla Noch Sodom. That's Mitzad Yochid. The Eibishter is saying, Shema Yisrael Havai L'keinu Havai Yachon. The Eibishter has created a perspective, and he created this perspective. Not so. That there is Yerida, and there's a Mata, and there's a Mayla, and there's a Yesh. Now who made that? He made that. The Eibishter made this perspective. The sense of separation, as you go down Ishtalshalos, it becomes greater and greater. I know, so what's the Kavanah? The Kavanah is Echad. Shegam mitzad atzimtzum kefishul legabeinu. Echad already acknowledges 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, Ches is the Shivarikim and Aretz and Dalet Ruches. So even as it is mitzad legabeinu, shal yodei nasis mitzias oilemes, that the tzimtzum created for our perspective a sense of separation of oilemes. Nonetheless, as I said before, in the end of the previous eyes, that even here we have, first of all, the idea, the knowledge, and it should be pale in some degree on the heart, what the truth, that it's all echad, it's all bottled mitzias. Further elaboration. So far, so good. Yeah, can you schlafen? Okay. Even the which is nimshach after the tzimtzum, The kav means shorsham beid in sof shlifnei hatzimtzum. It's not the pshat, right, that they must have made a tzimtzum, and then post tzimtzum and oid is nimshach. It's not what the Chaim is saying, although it's pretty ambiguous and it could be learned that way. But Chassidus stresses that it's not so, that the kav is nimshach through the tzimtzum. It's rooted directly in the Eid Sof, and therefore, as we're learning in the previous maamar,
Like Cyrus?
No, the Cyrus is that comes after the skull. The skull is the tzimtzum. It's nimshach before. The previous one, the previous maamar. That's the reason why, at the end of the days, he's going to say, it can be mamshich, Welt mitzad Welt, even as it was created, is a ready place for the giving of Eid Sof, because the kav carried latent within it the Eid Sof. In other words, the pnimius hakavana, and through avodah megalit. The pnimius hakavana is that in the tzimtzum in the olam, in Yeshus, in Yichud Tato, should be revealed Yichud Yilah. And so since it's the Pnimius HaKavana, it's within the Bria. And therefore, through Avodah, we can megalit here. As he says again, that the Oyer Sherach HaTzimtzum Shorshim, it's up Lifnei HaTzimtzum. Sharei L'Acher HaTzimtzum, these are the words, Chozar V'hei Yerei Nisof V'nimshach. He then not eclipsed the Eid Sof, and that's the end of the story. But rather, Chazav v'hei Eid Sof and Nimshach P'chines HaKav, because now the Eid Sof again is revealed, but in a way of a kav. Shulnegeya v'dovo b'Eid Sof, it touches and is attached to the Eid Sof. Therefore, it's that veik is b'Eid Sof shifnei hatzimtzum, because b'pnimius, at least, there's still the attachment to the Lifnei HaTzimtzum, the B'chinas Bittul b'Metzias Mamesh, b'Pnimius, even the Kav is bottled b'Metzias and carries the truth of Hashem Echad in all of Ishtalshalos. Saying is moreover, Shmitzad Adveik Shebakav, because of the Kav's attachment to the Insof, the perspective, the truth of the Eibishter, his perspective, is carried through in Ishtalshalos. Relative to the Eibishter, Lifnei Hatzimtzum, all of the Olamas exist within him, no separation at all, as they are in Aliyas HaRotzen, as he said before, the Malayes B'Shem Elikim. HaRotzen is already an articulation, he wants something. But Shem Elikim is not he wants something, it's him as it were. Him, the Shleimus of Atzmos, is Elikim. It's Keich HaGvul, it's Pratim. This truth is carried by the Kav. But it's not revealed unless there's Avodah. Now he adds a Meidik in the Kudah. When this truth, this was the previous maamar, the Chidush that happens, the Mata, is a greater accomplishment than the Gilui of the Neshama. What you're saying now. When this Hergesh is revealed, even the Mata, when there's an actual Vul, so this Gilui Likus is a greater Gilui than the way it is in Shem Elikim, L'mayla in the Eid Sof, where there's no actual Gvul. It's just the potential for Gvul. But here we have a Gvul that is hardcore and finite and could ignore and does ignore. And this Gvul recognizes the truth. It's all ended Mulvadoi. So this Gilui Likus of Shem Elikim, this Shleimus, is a greater shleimus when it embraces a world that is completely finite and the hell and the hell of Hester. So l'chera, what could be hiding this? Not finished. We're still talking Echa, v'lo b'chinas Yochid, and not Yochid. Fishen the Doim Melagabi Dios Baruch Lifnei HaTzimtzum, because Lifnei HaTzimtzum Shloi Hoyo Metzias Olam Es Klal. So it's truly Yochid. Hashem Gen Achar HaTzimtzum Shnisava Olam Es. So we have to. It's Echad. There is Olam Es. El Hashem Yochadim Lagamri. They united. I know. What's Echad bringing out over Yochid? Shekol Din in Ametzios. Why did he create this Metzios? Because he wants there should be Olam, but there should be that even Olam the Yichudi Ilo. This shleimus of wanting a tachten can't happen if there isn't actually a tachten. Kim kashe yesh the Metzias Olam daf has to the Metzias. So we have to go from Yochid to Echad the way it is. The Maila and Shem Balikim Lifnei HaTzimtzum, that's not the Kavanah. The Kavanah is that the Shutaka be the Olamas Metzias, and the Olamas should nonetheless surrender and reveal the Yichudi Ilah. Now, there are Dugman Benigla, say like a Dugman Nigla wants to bring out in Nigla how you can have a Metzias. But the whole kavanah of the Metzias is that it shouldn't be Metzias. Someone says that when I make a vow, he's saying now already, the vow should be, the neder should be mufa, should be nullified. So it's an interesting halachic thing. Shekol chaleis haneder urat b'chdei she's battle. The neder, its whole definition, chaleis means its whole definition, identity is it's there lechatchila to be in this battle. So al derech zeh being a metzias mitzad ha'odes. So likewise, the metzias that is created. Odes means post Tzimtzum, that creates a world, and the Olam is shekol ina metzias orak b'chdei. He created a metzias that should become ois metzias. Shehi shaykh ina bittul vayichad b'chinas echad, that there should be Olam, and nonetheless, Olam should not only have a bittul hayesh, no, they come from a mocker. That no, bittul metzias, yichud ilah, and hence we conclude malchus v'shema Yisrael. We continue Be'ez Hashem tomorrow.